Sexual problems, if there's a history of sexual problems with the person in your home, mentoring probably isn't a very good idea for you. Okay? If I had a past with a bunch of sexual problems and I was some type of pedophile or something, okay, I don't need a bunch of girls in my house. All right? That would be the last time. We also don't need anybody that's too cold. What do we mean by too cold? Most that have dealt with addicts become very insensitive. They become very cold to it. Okay? If you've had addicts that live in your home for a long time, there's a couple people I know in here that were married to them for years and years and years. And if you're married to an addict for years and years and years, you become cold. Very cut and dry. Okay? Well, the bottom line is we need to come out, we need to recover from all the hurt and the pain and everything for the 20 years that you've been married inside of this thing. So we can be the people that we need to be to where we're not cold to them. We need to be warm. We need to be inviting. We need to be secure. We need to be safe. We need to be exhorters. Those type of people we have to be. Again, whatever you do as unto the Lord, and you're not attached to the results. We're doing it as we would do it to the Lord, and that's what's important. Cold people like to talk, but they don't like to listen anymore because you've listened for years, didn't seem to do any good. You tried to communicate, but all they did was lie. And so we get very cold. Now, I'm not a good listener anymore. You could talk to me, but it goes in one ear and out the other because I'm really not getting any bit of it. Okay? This is a serious thing. We're short with them. We don't have any patience. I've already heard this story once. Get out of my face. Okay? You're lying to me. Well, no, not this time. I lied for the past 20 years, but not this time. I mean, I'm really different now. Yeah, right. Okay? We don't need those as mentors. We need mentors that can also start a brand new life with these particular people. Say, okay, Lord, you need to deal with me to where I can still be warm and inviting and secure and safe and all these other things for these particular people. We lack any trust, period, in these particular people. Now, let me tell you something about that, because I honestly believe that you probably shouldn't have a lot of trust. The Bible never asks you to have trust in them. The Bible says not to put your trust in man. The Bible tells you to put your trust in Him for them. Okay? If you put your trust in God, God will bring it around. The two girls that are in here that they're very familiar with this, that I know have been living with an addict, had to learn to trust God for it. When they finally learned to put it totally in God's hands, then the Lord all of a sudden made paths for them to be able to help their spouses. But first, they had to go through a learning process even for themselves. Number one, do you really love your husband? And are you really there? Because you made a covenant that said in good or in bad, and, or rich or in poor, till death do you part, till death or what? Okay, there needs to be in parentheses, death or drugs, alcohol, blah, 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 do you part? Okay? Once you make a covenant with God, we need to uphold our particular covenant. When you do that, Lord will bless you. He'll fix it. That's His job. Do not be attached to the results. Some even fear them to have them in your own home. If you fear having somebody in your own home, you either need to break in and not have fear, or you need to wait until the Lord deals with you on your fear stuff. Because if you're in fear, you're going to always be watching, and they're going to know it. An addict will think, for crying out loud, I feel like you're a cop. They're not going to buy into that at all. Okay? Does that make sense to anybody? Okay. Then you can have people that are too warm. These people also are not very good. Because what happens is they tend to trust everything that they're saying. And I find myself as an instructor talking to a bunch of people and trying to convince them, don't buy into that. Yeah, but they said this. I found out there's only one way to do it. You got to learn yourself. You're just going to have to learn it. Okay? Wanda is a very, very nice person. Been mentoring now for 5 years now. Okay? And it's really amazing to watch her go through the process, because in the first year or two, it was amazing. Wanda just wanted to back him into a corner and slap him. Okay? You get her going, and it's like, ugh. Now, there's reasons for that. One, Wanda still had stuff, because Wanda, years ago, was married to an alcoholic. Okay? And he died an alcoholic. And very difficult for her. She knows what the lies are all about. She's not very patient with the lies. Okay? But you can also buffalo her, because she'll fall in love with you. And once she falls in love with you, you can tell her whatever, and she wants to believe you. Okay? Either way. So we could be cold, and then we could be warm, depending on how good the people want to manipulate you. They're very good. They're master manipulators. That's what they have done. Some are going to spoil the person. They'll enable the person. Whatever you want. I'm here. I'm to help you. Don't enable the person. Let them work at their own plan. If you're trying to work harder with them than they're working for themselves, there's a problem. Okay? Remember that. Some would even lie for the addict. Some will put your family above the addict. Don't do it. Just don't do it. My family comes first. I love my family. Okay? And then last here, some get very attached to the result. That's not a good thing. If you get attached to the result. Now, Wanda used to discuss this with me a lot. She says, that's a good saying, but it doesn't work. Because the bottom line is, we get attached to they're with us for 4 months, and we're hugging them, we're embracing them, we're watching them with their kids and concentrating on their families, and we wake up with them, and we pray out at night, and everybody goes to bed, and I mean, we're involved in their life. And then, and I always make fun of this, because on that 120th day, or when they graduate, their parents or whoever comes and gets them, and they drive out. My wife and I are on the front porch crying. They don't even turn around and look. I got an 80-foot driveway, 100-foot driveway, whatever it is, that goes up to the road. They take a left and go down Blue Creek Road, and we're sitting there just with tears in our eyes, and they never even turned around. Okay? It's only after they spend a day out there that they go, wow, I kind of miss that security and kind of miss. But boy, they're really looking forward to getting out of there when they can too. Okay? They want their freedom. We're very attached to certain things, but do not let it affect what you're doing for the Lord. Otherwise, we would have quit years ago. All right? We can't let that happen. Okay, what is our job as mentors in the church? We provide a safe haven. We provide security. The church will help in the counseling and education of the addict through classes. 12-step plan is a very good one if it's done in a Christian fashion. Anger management, we call it anger resolve. Parenting, Bible studies, prayer meetings, drug education, depression, so on. Those particular classes. And also through personal contact and open discussion with spiritual leadership, other people in the church even. But as mentors, we need to get everybody involved. Okay? The church needs to help you. If you cannot find a church that'll back you up, okay, find a different one. That's my opinion. Okay? Because this is what it's all about, is ministering, outreach, going to preaching the gospel. If you have a church that basically looks at you and says, you're out of your mind, I don't want you doing that, you might want to pick something else if that's the case. But go somewhere where you have a church that's willing to say, hey, we're willing to help you. What do you need? What do you need to do what you do? Well, I need some counseling for this particular person, or I need somebody to help me get them to work and back now and then, or we may need a little help from the church at getting some food because we're not rich. We can't afford this. Now, I don't want to scare you, but the average mentoree will cost you $200 to $250 a month to eat in your home, to be able to do everything that needs to be done for them, to take them to work and back and blah, blah. It averages between $200 to $250 a month. Okay? So if you're going to be a mentoree, you need to be totally aware of the price to be a mentoree. Okay? Now, everybody wants to go to the other class. Food. We want the church to help, if they can, in the feeding of the addict. And that really helps with the financial burden. My wife and I, every now and then, will get on the edge. We're right on the edge financially, because we can have 3 or 4 at a time in our house. And so it gets right on the edge, and all of a sudden, there's always that somebody out there that just listens to the Lord, and boom, it comes in. And we just kind of go, we're good, we're okay, we're all right. Okay, get a smile on our face again. Okay, the wife goes, oh good, I didn't have any more gas money anyway. Court process. As a mentor, you will be walking people through their court process. There's not much you're going to be able to be doing about that. Okay? So it's very important that you are able to walk through some of the process with them. Going to court, what's the judge going to say, probation and parole. The church needs to be active in this. Going to court, talking to the probation officer, talking to the prosecutor, talking to the defense attorney sometimes. I've been doing that for years and years. I don't mind doing that at this particular point. In the very beginning, you're going to find people that do not want to talk to you because they don't think you're anything. You are nothing to them. You are a person that's going to get in the way. They're trying to rule over your client. They're trying to, on probation, they're trying to, help me out here, oversee your client, okay? And in doing that, you're going to get in the way, because when you have anything to say, they're going to go, what do you know?